Alright, so what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and over the last few days I've had a lot of people hitting me up asking about the craft event. Everything from what CTP did I get to who they should equip their brilliant CTPs on. Some of you guys are getting your very first brilliant CTP after playing this game for 8+ years, which is kind of crazy to think about, for the simple fact that we had multiple bingos and multiple crafting events over the last few years. But I honestly understand, because from the crafting events that we've had prior to this one, it was always a game of chance, and I have never gotten one on my main account. I've gotten one on my free-to-play account, which was a CTP of Insight, which was crazy, but on my main account I've never crafted a brilliant. So this is a first for me, so I completely understand. And with how they release so many uniforms per year and the meta is always changing, PvE, PvP, I completely understand that not everyone is able to invest a bunch of money in the game in order to pick up these uniforms and still have crystals left over to then chase a brilliant CTP from the bingos. And what I want to say is, if it's your first brilliant CTP, I don't think it's a bad idea to put your very first brilliant CTP on your favorite character, someone you don't think you will remove it from ever. Because if this is your first brilliant CTP, a brilliant CTP isn't something you're going to want to pay to unequipped over and over and over again. However, I am going to give you a list of a few different characters that you should consider if you don't care about putting it on your favorite character. Now, you're going to see some duplicates in here because of the fact that this is a brilliant CTP we're talking about, and there's a few characters in the game that can work with a few different CTPs depending on how you want to use the characters and your current skill level. We're gonna fly through this really quickly. First and foremost, we're gonna start off with the king, Thanos, that is. A CTP of authority is absolutely fantastic on a character like Thanos, who's already incredibly tanky. So if you get a brilliant one, best believe he is a fantastic candidate for it, for Timeline Battle, Otherworld Arena, and Alliance Conquest. In my opinion, one of the top picks here. Sue Storm, I have a brilliant on her, and I don't plan to take it off just because of the fact that she's such a good character for Otherworld Arena. She not only removes the debuffs, but she is incredibly annoying to get rid of. So yeah, a brilliant CTP of authority on her is really good, and she has a uniform coming up in like 6 months for Fantastic Four First Steps. So more than likely they're going to double or triple down on her PvP value. So it's basically great to invest in her now, and you're probably going to see even more value in a few months when she gets another uniform that makes her even more powerful for PvP. Dr. Doom, honestly, one of the only ways that you can kind of use him and not be disappointed, but it's only for Otherworld Arena, not for Timeline Battle. Okay, Otherworld Arena and Alliance Conquest, Dr. Doom with a brilliant authority is good. Quicksilver is really good with a CTP of authority. Most people run him with Greed, but I find that with Greed, he's basically just weaker because he's not getting what he actually needs, which is defense. He's not going to be lacking damage at any point. As soon as he spawns in, no matter who he's up against, he's just going to freaking eat through their HP in seconds. You just basically want him to stay alive as long as possible so he can get off multiple forward skills. So having his artifact for the Giga Dodge, giving him an authority to give him a little bit of survivability, I honestly think that's one of the best ways to go about building Quicksilver. So for that reason, I think an authority is fantastic on him. Maddie with the undead artifact, I honestly think she is a fantastic candidate for an authority as well. Jean Grey, you could still give an authority to if you wanted to primarily use her for Otherworld Arena, because she's not going to be Timeline Battle meta even with a brilliant of any kind. It's going to be Otherworld Arena and Alliance Conquest. So we'll leave it like that. And then Zombie Captain America, low key, he doesn't get banned that much, and he's actually a demon with the CTP of authority, especially if you combine him with Weapon Hex. So I'm thinking about tier 4ing him if what we are seeing right now, that the next set of tier 4s that they're trying to push people into tier 4 are Star-Lord and Gamora. I might actually skip over them if they don't change the meta and go tier 4 Captain America to make my Otherworld Battles team stronger. Another one that is really good with the authority is actually Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is probably around here somewhere, to be honest with you. Moving on, we got the CTP of energy. Adam Warlock, still a great candidate for it. Now there are CTPs that are now, I would say, a better option for him, but if you got a brilliant energy and you were wondering who could I toss it on, Adam Warlock. We got Sharon Rogers in this new uniform, stronger than ever. I would say probably one of the top picks for it because she's still super easy to play, and now that she has the V pad, I know this uniform is paywall and I have a video coming on it soon, don't worry. She moves around now in her forward skill, so it's easier for her to accumulate, which in theory makes her safer, and she should put out more damage as well. So yeah, CTP of energy still I think is the way to go with Sharon Rogers. I don't think she's going to be super meta. I think she's just going to be a really strong character for World Boss, and you know they're always adding new World Bosses. They even let us know that they're going to be adding new World Bosses as well. I think we're going to put Gambit here because at tier 4 he can push well over 12 million in ABL, and he's going to be able to just cut through bosses in World Boss. Now your skill level and your ability to proc consistently with him will come into play. Most people should give him a rage, and that's why there's 2 icons for him here. Moving on, for the CTP of refinement, the only character I would put it on is Carnage. He's the only one that's meta. If you look at these characters, all of them are useful right now. I'm not going to give you a dead character and tell you to put a brilliant on them. No, even the support characters that I put in here, I try to put the most useful ones, the ones that can cover the most days in ABX and ABLs, and any ones that I found that overlapped more often, I decided to put them here instead of others. Now, people like X23, because she has built-in immunity to guard break, she would be a good option to consider for the refinement, but she's not meta. She's literally going to only be for AC. Not even Otherworld Arena. So I'm like, nah, not gonna put her on this list. Moving on, the CTP of Rage, one of your first picks. You already know who that should be, right? The only reason why many of us are able to farm that new 14 dispatch mission, Mr. Dr. Stephen Strange. The zombie version of him is absolutely menacing, absolutely fantastic. Top choice here, easily one of the best. Thanos in front of Gambit because Thanos does ABX and ABL as opposed to Gambit, who's only ABL on one day because he shares a day with Psylocke. Now, I toyed with the idea of putting Psylocke here as a character that can use a judgment, and that is true, but primarily you want to use her with a rage because she still holds down a day in ABL and she's going to be stronger. From what I see, even with a mighty rage as opposed to a brilliant judgment. Now, because Cable has the team up collection, he's actually a little bit ahead of Psylocke. Well, no, actually, he's very much so ahead of Psylocke. These two are neck and neck for ABL on the blast day. So you could invest in Cable if you prefer playing him for ABL. Give him the rage, give Gambit the energy, and then Gambit could be your world boss mutant. Moving on, we have Gladiator. This guy, obviously, great for CTP of Rage. ABX, ABL. I'm hoping he gets replaced for ABL by Star-Lord because he is difficult to proc with, and yeah, I kind of want him to go, but it's not about what I want, it's about what's good for the game. And him staying there when people have already built him and waited so long for him, I understand. She should probably move down a little bit because she used to have 2 days, now she only has 1. Wanda has 1 day for ABX and ABL, which is more than what she has. You should probably go like here because he only has 1 day in ABL. You should go here. I'm looking at who has the most days, right? Steven has a couple days, right? He has ABX, ABL, ABX, ABL, ABX, ABL, ABX, ABL. So it just makes sense to go in this way. The most versatile ones being in front. And if that's the case, I probably should put him here. Moving on. Okay, so another character that is fantastic with the CTP of Rage is Dr. Octopus. Now, Dr. Octopus, I honestly don't like playing with them, so I would use Hulk instead. And that's why Hulk is here twice, because Hulk is honestly, even though weaker than Dr. Octopus, more fun for me to play. Now, Dr. Octopus, I think I should probably put about here because he has a couple days. He has ABX and ABL as opposed to these guys. Jean Grey, ABX, ABL, especially if you don't have Gwenpool. Now, I toyed with the idea of putting Gwenpool on this list, but I am not going to do that. We're going to put Jean Grey right here instead. Okay, so if you want to put a Brilliant on Gwenpool over Jean Grey, go ahead, more power to you. Next up, we got the Judgment category. Ghost Rider, fantastic with the Judgment. Rogue, talking World Boss, lots of stages for him to push, and he's also fantastic for the zombie mode. And if you have his Undead Artifact, then obviously he's gonna kick ass in Otherworld Arena. Rogue, still great for dispatch missions. You want to farm the essence so you can get more artifacts. And I know this one might not sit well with everyone, but Miles Morales with a Brilliant Judgment, he cooks up, bro. I have to put him in here. I'm literally looking at my boy like I might tier for you, my boy. Moving on, the Greed. Ghost Rider, gotta go in Greed as well. If you say, I don't care about World Boss, or you just don't care about him taking a big hit in his DPS for World Boss, and you want it to be more for Otherworld Arena like these guys, then you go with a Greed. And he's just going to be frying people. CTP of Greed for Wolverine. Now, Wolverine can also work with a Conquest, but I think the Greed is the best for him. So we're going to put him there. You could use this, or you could use the X Deaths of Wolverine uniform. But I just decided to put this one here. Whichever one you decide to use, that's up to you. No, yeah, CTP of Greed, if you get one, top choice. Another one is Adam Warlock. I'll probably put him right behind Wolverine right there in front of Ghost Rider. Because with the Greed, he's cooking up in Timeline. He's cooking up in the Otherworld Arena and Alliance Conquest. We got Sentry. And then number 6 is Carnage, pushing Ghost Rider a little bit further back just because of the fact that you could combine him with Null and Agent Venom, which makes him Timeline Battle viable. He didn't have a place in Timeline Battle. He would go behind Ghost Rider in my opinion. Now, let's get into the CDP of Insight. We got my girl here, White Fox, Morgan Le Fay, we got Enchantress, we got Mysterio, we got Ronin, we got Shuri, we got Sin. Now, Sin, you want to have her artifact. I would say she's probably closer to the top. Wasp and Colossus. These guys are mainly for AC/Otherworld Arena. These other guys here are primarily for World Boss, ABX, and ABL. If you look at the days where you can use them in ABL and ABX, you're going to notice that majority of them have overlaps. Dazzler, Taskmaster probably should go around here because he has ABX and ABL viability. And Yondu should go around here where Dazzler is. Now, last but not least, Conquest. These guys, all Conquest. Now, put him here. Spider-Man, believe it or not, works really well with a Conquest. I'll probably put in my head of Apocalypse, honestly. Now, this one right here, the only reason why I say you consider her for a Conquest, your Brilliant Conquest, is if you already have these guys either with other CTPs or with a Conquest and you have an extra one laying around and you bought the uniform for her because you want to tier for her if you bought the uniform, so you get max value, and then you can have her on a team with Captain America for Otherworld Arena. There are weeks when these two together will carry you and make it so it's super easy for you to farm more tier 4 materials from Otherworld Battle. I was looking at this list after I finished the video, and then I thought to myself, there's a support character here that I definitely should add, and that is Satana, because Satana is needed for Scarlet Witch, for ABX and ABL. So I had to put this one in here. If you have a CTP of Insight, it should probably go to, I would say, these 4 first and then trickle down after. Something like this is what it should look like. So anyways, just wanted to update this a little bit. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Anyone else that I missed, let me know. Now, with that being said, let's see what they give me. A CTP of Authority. We take those, honestly. I thought they would have given me an energy, which if they gave me an energy, I would be a little sad, because that would mean I would have to throw it on to Sharon Rogers to get value out of it. So we got this selector here. We're gonna pick up a liberation from that. Let me see what I get from the mighty. Oh, we got a Greed. Okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I would have preferred if I had gotten the the Greed as the Brilliant, but it is what it is. We cannot complain, and we will not complain, and we should not complain. We got ourselves a Brilliant Authority. Anyways, let me see the roll on that really. See, I'm not lying to y'all. I have a brilliant energy on my Adam Warlock, bro. All right, so let me see. What's the roll? No! God damn it, man. We gotta re-roll it. All right. We're gonna have to put some work in. No free lunch. Well, we got a free lunch. We just didn't get free desserts. I'm going.